Hey, your church is probably figuring out how to best live stream your services so that people who want to stay home can stay home, as many churches are doing that right now. Well, I want to present a couple of options that are pretty simple to use that are cheap. Right? Here's a couple of cheap options. The first free option is this one right here. Number one, just find a smartphone, put it up, and have that record the lesson. And it shouldn't be too much of a problem with the video. A lot of smartphone cameras have wonderful video, and it shouldn't be an issue. But you might notice that the sound sounds pretty bad. Probably echoey, probably tinny, not very clear, and you want to avoid that. So what I'm going to do is show you option number two. Option number two is just a lapel mic that can plug into your phone, and I'm going to plug this in right now. Just plug this in. And now this is plugged into my phone. You can use this. Now it's corded, so it's not wireless. So you're going to have to watch yourself. But most of the time, you're not going to have a problem because nobody else is moving around besides you. You'll just have to be mindful of that as the preacher is moving around. The nice thing, though, is that it is a pretty good distance. So I can get back to here at least, and you can still hear me well enough. And I can move around if I need to, just to be mindful of this cord that's hanging off of me. It's much better audio than otherwise. And one of the things you have to recognize with live streaming and just video in general, that people think it's the video quality that might make the best move. As long as you have good video quality, you're doing it good. The best move is audio, making sure your audio sounds good. Because even if this projector, which you're gonna struggle with this too, is that your projector is gonna be overblown because it's using such a high light source that it's not gonna, you can't even read what the middle of that thing even says. The audio, as long as you get that one down, you're going to do very well. So that's option number two, is get a lapel mic, put it on here. Now, I don't have option number three, which is kind of a midway between it, which is find something that you can tag on the top of your phone. Find a small microphone. You can find the small ones you can just plug into the millimeter jack if your phone even has those still, and you can just record like that. The fourth one is, it's not a bad idea, is that you can actually live stream just audio on Facebook. And there's a couple of options to do that. Maybe I'll show you how to do that on screen here, as you can just quickly upload just audio. And that's going to work really well because you can get the phone right on top of the podium or right where you're at, and people can still hear, but they can't see. Then I'm going to show you option number five, and I'll show you that in just a second, which is a little bit more complicated. But if you have somebody who's dedicated to learning how to use audio and video, it can work out quite well. And I'll show you that in just a second here. All right, before we move on to the final option, I just wanted to show you what my setup looks like. I think that just propping it up on a pew might work, or using some sort of podium. But this is just a simple Amazon basic tripod, as you can see there. And right on top of this is this piece right here, which is something I bought separately. And this is just a phone clip that can clip on any tripod mount, and you just twist that in there. And you can just twist it in there and squeeze it in there, and it can work well. And you can have somebody using it if they want to follow the preacher wherever he's moving, if you want to do that. But it's a good option. So I wanted to show you what that looked like from the opposite side, or what the phone is standing on. All right, let's move to option five. All right, option five has the camera, the projector, and the sound all hooked up to the same computer. Now, you're going to need a computer to use this to work well. And let me show you what that looks like. Obviously not a great looking clean setup for those who like no wires, but here's my current setup. This is my computer right now. It is running, but the top fan obviously is broken. It still works just fine. We've got a cord here that is hooked up to the projector, and we have a cord that is going to hook up to the camera there. And there is my screen that I look at as I'm using this. I use it to teach Bible class on Tuesdays. And after you hook up all that stuff together, you'll be able to have really good sound, have good camera quality, and it'll all work together. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, this is my setup that I use when I teach an online Bible class. And what it is that in front of me, as you already saw, you have a DSLR camera, and that has an adapter from a mini HDMI to a HDMI to a stream capture card made by Elgato. It's about, I think, $100 some for that particular capture card. The DSLR camera, if you have one lying around, great. use it. Sometimes though, you're going to need something that clears the overlays of your camera. You're going to have a bunch of like sensors and stuff on screen, so you have to figure out how to get rid of that. I had to install some magic lantern behind it to get that to clear there. So you got to find a camera that can do that well. So that's why I really do recommend just using a smartphone camera, because it's not going to have any overlays and you're going to be able to get up in business much quicker. And it's got a built-in app to stream to Facebook. To do it on this, you have to do a couple of fancy things. So here's what I'm looking at. This is my screen here. You see I have the PowerPoint, which is right here. I can change the slides back and forth there. This is it's called OBS, Open Broadcasting Software. It's free. That's why I'm using it, because I probably wouldn't pay for this right now because I'm still learning how to use this kind of stuff. And it has different scenes you can add. So I put those to different key bindings. So here is just me. Here is me, I think, with the PowerPoint that I'm using, the same exact PowerPoint that was out in the auditorium. Much easier to see right here than it is here. Now, the screen that I'm using is 16 by 9, which is most TVs, but the projector out there is 4 by 3. That's why you've got the black box, the black bars on the side there. That's the only reason why it's that way. This is great. This is great because it's got a good audio quality, it's got good video quality, and you've got a lot of customizability to have different scenes to be used. I'm not using this for our church's regular services because stuff does happen and I'm still working these kinks out. If you have somebody who's dedicated, who wants to learn how to do this, there's way more stuff on YouTube to learn how to do this. I encourage you to look at those. If you have other questions about my setup that I'm using here, I'm going to try to post most of the stuff where I buy it, all on Amazon, which is probably what where most people are going to buy things right now. So if you want to purchase some of these things. The microphone that I was just using, I think I bought it for this one I'm using still for like 12 bucks or 15 bucks. So find a smartphone, make sure you have it charged during the services so that way it doesn't go bad on power. Make sure you have good Wi-Fi and have the person who's preaching mic'd up, and you should be good to go that way. But this is for somebody who wants to take it to the next level. If you have any questions about any of these things, really, let me know. I'll make sure that those who comment, I'll try to address them as best as I can. We might have to do a private messaging or some FaceTiming or whatever. But I do want to help other churches so that way those who are staying home, at least they're getting to hear the message and hearing it as everyone else is hearing. Just wanted to get this video out because I see some people scrambling and asking questions online about how do you do this and how is your church doing this, and here's what we're probably going to do on this coming Sunday. To do some sort of live stream. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find some sort of quick solution for you and your church.